Hi guys, welcome back to class today. Today is going to be a sew along video, okay? Remember in our last class I showed us how to create a pattern for a monostrap. I actually showed us 3 variations, okay? Here is one of the pattern aside. We are going to be sewing this one in our next video. So but I'm actually making this particular monostrap for a client. That's why I decided to make a video just to show you guys also how to create a monostrap, okay? So this is the fabric I'm going to be using for this monostrap class today, and this is the lace I'm going to be using for the upper part, and that's actually the back, okay? I didn't get to show us how to create a back. The back is going to be a full back. There's not going to be any monostrap design for the back because we're going to be replacing a yoke in the front. It's going to be a total full bodice automatically again. So all I need to do for this my back pattern is going to be having a waist dart. I'm just going to add my zip allowance, okay, and my back bodice is ready. So that's all we'll be needing. So I'm going to be cutting out this fabric now, so you guys come along with me. So first I'm going to cut out my yoke. So I hope this lace that I have will be enough. So let's try, because I'm actually going to be using the lace as well for a sleeve. So let me just arrange it properly so I don't fall into trouble. So I'm going to be using it for the sleeve on one side. Okay, so that's fine. I already showed us the picture. I'll be putting the picture of exactly the kind of design that I'm trying to create, okay? So I'm just going to link it up here for us to see. So I'm trying to place this pattern in such a way that the lace is going to be good enough for me, or rather the lace is going to be enough for me because I'm going to be using it for a sleeve. So I'm just going to use my pins to pin this. So, and I need to arrange it. Let's see, this is the front, so I need to place this front to front. So I need to pin it together because I will need to add some seam allowance all around it, okay? So this is what we're going to have, guys. You see the pattern is already coming out and forming out nicely. So I'm going to be using this lace to form a sleeve on this side, okay? So this lace is going to be a sleeve on this side of the pattern, and I'm also going to use the fabric to form a sleeve on this side of this pattern. So I'll just go ahead to cut my back. Then you need to have some stay and some wording around it. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out all of my patterns. I've also cut out the back patterns as well. As you can see, I have already cut out stay, okay? So I'm just going to take this off with the iron. So that's off. So I'm just going to iron my stay to my fabric, okay? So I have a stay for the back. To show us how to cut out the breast pad, okay? So this is the breast pad I'm using. I'm going to open this up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this here. So obviously I can see my underbust is there, okay? So I'm just going to cut from my underbust. So I'm just going to follow the shape. Let me use a sharper scissors. Okay, so I'm cutting down there. So I'll make sure I move away from my side seam. I don't allow my breast part to get into my side seam, but I just tried as much as possible to bring out the same shape around there. Okay, so this is exactly what I did. So this is how it's looking on the inside. Okay, so I moved away from the side from my side seam. So I'll bring my stay and I'll put that on top. You see guys, so this is how I used to pad my princess that bustier. So I'll just put that down. This my iron is not too hot, okay, so I'll just leave it there. So I'll do this, I'll repeat the same step for this other side. Okay, to bring the mid part, I'm going to bring out the middle part. Okay, so for me to be able to cut this part, I'm just going to bring my pattern here and I'm going to look for my underbust there. Remember, I have a 0.5 seam allowance around that place, so I'm going to look for my underbust, then I'm going to notch it. Okay, I'm going to notch my underbust so I can know where and where to stop my breast pad, because it has to be aligning with the other one. Okay, so I'm going to now cut like so. I'll bring it close down a little bit around my underbust so I can cut now. So I'm cutting and stopping. See where I'm stopping on the other side. I'm stopping around the princess, where the princess seam is going to be joined. Can you guys see? You can see that part. That's where the princess that is going to be joined together. That's exactly where I'm stopping my breast part. This is where I'm going to be joining the other princess that. See, let me show you guys like this. Okay, this is how it will be joined. So that is where I'm stopping my breast part. I'm not taking it all the way up. So then I'll continue to cut. So I'll take off my pattern, then I'll continue on this side. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm cutting this mid part like this in full. Okay, so I'm going to now come over to this upper part. I'm going to be taking away like 0.5 inch because of my seam allowance that I have there, because you know we're going to be joining that upper part to the seam allowance. Okay, so you don't want your breast part to get to your seam allowance. So I'm just going to make sure this one's fine, they're okay. So you guys can see what I've done here. I've tried to move away because you don't want that part to start gaping or to start having issues when you are joining it to the upper part because of the seam, because of this your breast tube is getting into your seam allowance. Okay, you don't want that to happen, so I have to move my breast pad away from my seam allowance. So now I can now iron my stay on top of it like so. So this is very important, guys, for you to pad your bustier properly to give it the lift that you want. Okay, so now I have my two sides seam like so, which is already fully padded. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I use my iron to press it down properly. So my iron is not so hot, so I'm going to place them all together and leave it there for a while. So then we'll move over to the joining of this pattern. So come along with me, guys. Let's sew this pattern. So I'm only going to be showing you guys the upper part. I'm going to join every part together. Hi guys, so yeah, I'm just trying to use the main fabric to line the lace, okay, because I don't want that part to be revealing, okay, but you can leave yours like that, depends on your client or depends on how modest you are as well. So I'm just trying to pin all of these patterns together because I'm going to be using the fabric to line the lace. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So after turning it, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, then I'll sew it together. I'm going to be sewing the neckline. So yeah guys, I'm just trying to bring the main fabric together, okay, the bustier part, and I'm using my pins to pin them in the way that they should be sewn. So after pinning all of these pieces together, I'm going to take it also to the sewing machine, then I'll sew it together to form one piece. So after sewing, and this is what we have, you can see the bustier is looking really nice and formed. So I used the seam allowance which I created to sew it. So this is what we have at the moment, and I'm going to turn this over. So I'm going to give it a notch all around this pattern, okay. It's very important that you notch it so that it can relax properly. Then you take it to your tailor's arm to iron it, okay. When you are ironing a bustier, you don't need to iron it flat. You have to use a tailor's arm to iron those parts out. So I'm just giving it a notch around this part, and after notching it, I'm going to take it to the ironing board to iron. And the next thing I'll do is to join the upper part together, which is the yoke part, the lace part, together with this piece. So here I'm just trying to pin the upper part, which is the yoke part, to the lower part together. I'm just going to be using my pins to put them together, okay, so I can take it to the sewing machine and sew. So I'll just pin from one end all the way to the other end, okay. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So after doing this, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'll sew it, then I'll show you guys what that looks like. So I'm done pinning the both pieces together, okay. This is what we have. So I'm going to be taking it to the sewing machine now to join the two pieces together to become one piece. So after joining these two pieces together, I'm going to give that curve a really nice notch to help it to relax around that area, okay. Here's my lining piece, guys. I've already gone ahead to join my lining piece together, okay. So, and I'm just giving this curve a nice notch. I've sewn it in the sewing machine, and this is what I have at the moment. So make sure to take yours to the ironing board. I'm going to take it now to the ironing board, and I'm going to give it a really good press, guys. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring the lining piece and the main piece together so I can use the lining to turn it to give it a clean finish on the inside. So I'm just using my pins to pin the lining together so I can take it to the sewing machine to sew. So I've sewn my lining piece and my main piece together, okay. I also went ahead to sew the side seam, okay. So I went ahead to sew the side seam as well. So I've turned my upper piece all around, and I'm going to be having a clean finish. So I'm also going to give that part a notch, and I'm going to flip it over to the right side
like so. Exactly what you see me doing here. I'm just flipping this piece to the right side after turning with the lining. So this is what we have, guys. Okay, and yes, the finished look of the princess that bustier monostrap that we just made. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll probably be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.